What's up, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna play with the new Secret Garden palette from Bella Beauty Bar. I did pick this up on launch and I'm excited about it. I love Bella Beauty Bar. I fell in love with the brand really hard last year. They were pumping out a lot of palettes and the quality and the color stories just got better and better with every single release. I love the palettes that I have. I really do. They're some of my favorites in my collection. It has quickly become one of my favorite brands, and I'm excited to play with this palette. This is a 25 pan palette. It is magnetic, so you can take them out, move them around, mix and match with other palettes. If you're into build your own palettes, you can do that as well. I'm not really into that. I kind of leave my palettes the way that they are. I like the way that they are, but this palette does retail for $75. I know that's a little bit on the pricier side, but there's lots of multi-chromes and holochromes in here, and that's what drives up the price because those are more expensive to make, and it just kind of is what it is. But if you're not into greens and pinks, this palette is not going to be for you because it is a very green and pink palette. We do have that row of neutrals up on the top row, and I absolutely love it. I'm excited to play with this. I think it's beautiful. The minute it was sneak peeked, I was like, yes, beautiful. It's spring, it's summer, it can even take me into fall, and I love it. I'm excited. We're gonna create a couple different looks with this palette today, see if the formula is the good Bella Beauty Bar formula that I know and I love, and yeah, see what we can create with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom y'all in a little bit, get my hair out of my face, prime my eyes, and we're going to jump into this. All right, my eyes are primed. I did go in with my MAC paint pot in the shade Painterly. You already know it's my favorite. It's my go-to. It's what I'm going to use. But let's go ahead and jump into this palette and create our first look. So where do I want to start? I really want to play with some of these neutrals and the pinks in here. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. But let's go ahead and start with this hot pink shade right here. It is called... It's really hard to read. I think Damask is what it's called. I'm not really sure. It's kind of like a cursive-y font, and it's hard to read. But I'm going to pick it up with a Singe Beauty EO3 brush. And what I want to do with this one is I want to pop this into like this inner portion of my crease and lid. Oh my gosh, look at that. I love the pigmentation. I love this formula. It's one of my absolute favorites. I know I've already said that, but Bella Beauty Bar is one of those brands that anytime they sneak peek anything or they are releasing something, I'm like, I need to know what it is. Do I need it? Probably. And this one is no different. Look at how pretty that is. I love that color. All right, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and leave that right there. And let's go ahead and I wanna put this color into the outer portion of that crease. This one is called Strawberry. So for Strawberry, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up a Singe Beauty EO2 brush. And I'm gonna put this into like my outer corner and bring it up to that first shade that I put down. And I'm just gonna kind of pat where they meet, so I get a nice blend. There's quite a bit of kick up in the pan with this color, but I'm not getting any fallout on my face, so it's not really translating over to my lid. Okay, I'm gonna take that same brush. I just cleaned it off, so there's no product on it, and I'm just going along that edge and buffing it out to soften any harsh lines that I have, so it just kind of blends a little bit better. Okay, so I've softened that up just a little bit. I'm gonna take it one step further. I'm gonna go in with this shade up over here. This one is called Vintage, and it's just a really just like a translucent powder kind of color. It's very soft, very beige, not a whole lot to it. It's really close to my skin tone, and I'm very lightly going to take this along that edge and buff it out a little bit more. Okay. this is where we've landed. I like the way we're looking. Let's go ahead and build up some depth. You know I have to do it. I want to go in with this shade right here. It's called Mahogany, and it's just a really pretty, like, deep, warm brown. And for this, I'm going to go in with my Morphe M506 brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that on my brush, tap it off, and just very lightly build up the depth in the outer corner. I don't want this to take over. I don't want it to be like a full-on brown look. I just kind of want to mix this in with that pink to give a little bit of depth. I like the way that looks. That looks really, really pretty. Okay, for the lower lash line, I think I want to go in with that same brown shade. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this one, a Sigma E57 brush. I'm going to pick up that mahogany shade that I just put on my outer corner, and I'm going to, not completely tight line, but I am going to keep this a little tighter in on my lower lash line and just kind of line it. I don't want to fluff it out too much, but I'm also not being like super precise either. Next, I'm going to grab this shade right here. This one is called Rose, and I'm going to pick that up with a Singe Beauty EO5 brush, and I'm just going to fluff this along the lower lash line below where I put that mahogany shade. Give it a soft gradient down there. I love that. I think it looks beautiful. Okay, let's do some shimmer on the lid. So I'm going to go ahead and prime my eye with my NYX glitter primer that I always use for my shimmers. And we're going to play with 3 of these shimmers on my lid. I want to see if I can get a good vast majority of this palette used in these 2 looks that I'm going to do. Okay, so the first shade that I'm going to go in with on my lid is this one right here. This one is called Daydream. So I'm going to pick that up with my finger, and oh my gosh, that's so pretty. This is a little bit on like the chunkier side, so I do highly suggest that you use a glitter glue when you're using this, but look at how gorgeous. That is one thing about Bella Beauty Bar, is that their shimmer shades are always just so like reflective and absolutely gorgeous. They like to do a lot of different formulas in their palettes, and I absolutely adore that shade. Okay, let's go in with this darker one right here. It's called Flora, and I'm going to pop that on the outer portion where these 2 shades meet. So this is what the shade looks like, and I'm just very lightly gonna put that right here, give it a little blend with a clean finger, and that's just gonna give me a softer transition from that dark outer corner into that brighter lid shade. Love it. Okay, so for my inner corner, we're gonna go in with this shade right here. It's called Sun Shower. So for this, I'm going to pick it up with my Morphe M421 brush. I'm gonna spray it with my MAC Fix Plus, and I'm gonna pop this into my inner corner. Okay, so I have that shade picked up. Grab my MAC Fix Plus. Ooh, yes, I love it so, so much. Ugh. I'm gonna kind of bring that up to where that first shade is and have them meet, so we have a nice, really pretty gradient. That is stunning. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and throw on some liner and mascara, and I will come back and show you the first completed look. All right, y'all, so this is gonna complete the first look, and oh, it's so pretty. It's stunning. I haven't played with a shimmer shade like this in such a long time that I forgot how blinding and beautiful they can be on the lid. But let me go ahead and show you what I used to finish off this look. So in my waterline, I went in with a NYX Epic Wear liner in the shade Pink Spirit, and then to line my lid, I went in with my Half Magic Magic Flick liquid eyeliner, and for my mascara, the Wet n Wild So Defined mascara. I have really been enjoying this. Like, it's gorgeous. This is such a good formula. but I also threw on a lip. So for my lip, I went in with a MAC liner pencil in the shade Dervish, and then I went in with the Merit Signature Lip Matte Formula in the shade Classic, and I really like this lip combo. I think it's beautiful. It's just like everyday wearable. It looks a little bit more like pinky on camera than it does in person, but it is a very neutral, just like classic lip. But this is what we're looking like. I love it. Oh, it's so pretty. But let's go ahead and create our second look. So we're gonna play with the greens for the second look. We're gonna see what we can come up with. I wanna play with this shade so bad. It looks absolutely gorgeous. So let's go ahead and start with, where do I want to start? Let's start down here with this shade right here. This one is called Escape. So, oops, I'm knocking stuff over. So for Escape, I'm going to go ahead and pick up a Game Beauty EO6 brush, and I'm just going to kind of fluff this into my crease, not keeping it like super tight or precise, just kind of getting it on there. It's like a transition shade. It's like a very murky, muted, like army green. Desaturated really is what it is. All right, the first shade is down. Let's go ahead and move on to our next one. So we have a lot of like these more like muted grungy greens, but then we also have like these brighter, like more true greens over here. We're gonna kind of mix the two different tones together. So I think what I wanna do is we're gonna go in with this shade next. This one is called Mist. And what I'm gonna do with Mist is I'm gonna pick it up with a Singe Beauty EO4 brush. And we're gonna put this kind of like out here and up into the crease. I think I'm gonna take it pretty much all the way across and just kind of blend it up into that first shade that we used. Okay, so this is what we're looking like. I'm gonna go back with that first brush and that first shade, and I'm just gonna go along the edge and kind of blend those two shades together so we don't have a harsh line. Okay, much better. I like the way that looks. I'm not concerned about the lid because we are gonna put a shimmer shade on over it, but let's go ahead and deepen this outer corner. So I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, which is called Lock and Key. And for that, I'm going to take a, where are you? Here it is. I'm gonna take one of my Unearthly UC8-7 brushes, and I'm gonna pick that up and just put it into this outer corner. Okay, so this is what we're looking like. I really like the gradient that I have going on, the way those colors went on together. They mix really well. I'm not having any muddiness, any patchiness. I'm having very minimal fallout, like the tiniest little bit like right here, and it just wiped away. But let's do the lower lash line. So for the lower lash line, I want to go in with this green right here. This one is called Enchanted, and this one is more of like a blue green shade, but it's very pretty. So I'm going to pick this up with a Sigma Beauty E54 brush, tap it off, and I'm going to fluff this along the lower lash line. So not as precise as I did on the other eye. I just kind of want this to be the lower lash line shade. Okay, I'm gonna take that same brush, I just wiped it off, and I'm gonna go back in to that really light, like cream colored shade, the shade Vintage that I used over here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go right below where that shade stops and just blend this in. Obviously, if you have a darker skin tone, I would go in with one of the darker shades, whatever closely matches you, but this is the one that's closest for my skin tone. So it's just gonna give me a softer gradient. Okay, let's do the lid, let's do some shimmer. So I'm gonna throw on my NYX glitter primer really quick, and then we'll move on. Okay, my lid is primed. Let's do a shimmer. I want to throw this one on all over the lid. We'll go from there, but I want to start with that one. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It caught my eye the minute I opened up the palette. So that one is called Oasis. I'm going to pick it up on my finger and holy smokes, is that gorgeous. Ugh. Yes, please. Wow. This is definitely a multi-chrome. I'm gonna see if I can hold up a mirror and y'all can see it a little bit better, because in person it's like a bright green and then on camera it's more of like a seafoam silver shade. So it's definitely got that flip to it. All right, so I don't know if y'all can see, but it has like this blue to green to purple flip in it, and I think you can see it a little bit right there, and it's absolutely stunning. I love it. I think I'm going to give this shade its moment and just leave that one on the lid by itself, but we still have the inner corner. So for the inner corner, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a matte inner corner. So I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. This one is called Water Lily. And so I'm gonna go ahead and where's my brush that I want for this? We're gonna go in with a Unearthly UC8-5 brush, and I'm just going to pick that shade up and just lightly kind of pat it into that inner corner. Yeah. And I am going to go back and fill in that little gap with that Oasis shade. It's just so pretty. It reminds me of like a mermaid tail, like water, ocean, just stunning. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this eye with liner, mascara, fill in that little gap, and then I will come back and show you the second completed look with this palette. All right, y'all, so this is gonna complete the second look, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. That Oasis shade on the lid is so stunning. It's reflective, it's shifty, it's beautiful. I love the way it looks on my eye, and that shade that I used on my inner corner, stunning. But let me show you what I used to finish off this look. So all I did was tightline my lid and go in on my waterline with my Kylie Jenner liner in the shade Matte Black. You can use any black liner that you have. And then of course I went in with my Wet n Wild So Defined mascara as well. And I love it. I really, really love the way that both of these looks turned out. I think they're gorgeous. I can't pick a favorite. I really can't. Like, I'm a sucker for pinks and purples, but that green eye is just, oh, it's so pretty. But let me go ahead and zoom y'all out and we're gonna chat about this palette. All right, y'all, so that's gonna complete these two looks with this palette, and I love them. I think they're beautiful. I love Bella Beauty Bar so much, but let's talk about this palette. So first of all, I absolutely love the cover art and the packaging. It's simple, but it's still elegant and beautiful. It is one of their bigger palettes, and I'm not a huge fan of huge palettes, but if I can open it, I think this one is done right. We don't have any color overlap in here. I don't think there's any shades in here that are so close together that it could have been curated down a little bit more. I like that we have these neutrals up here. I feel like it gives you more options with these, because you could definitely do like a neutral look and pop on one of these beautiful shimmer shades, or you could use just like one of the mattes as an accent color. So it gives you a lot of options. It gives you a lot more flexibility with the palette. But the formula in here is the same gorgeous Bella Beauty Bar formula that I know and I love, that we have been seeing from the brand lately. I didn't have any issues with patching, skipping, mudding, very minimal fallout. This one had quite a bit of kick up in the pan, but like I said, it didn't translate to the lid, so that doesn't really bother me. The shimmers in here are gorgeous. The ones that I played with are so absolutely beautiful. I love that we have some that are a little bit more on the chunky side. We have some that are smoother, but even when they are chunky, they still don't accentuate texture on my lids. And I have played with some that absolutely do, and these don't. They go on beautiful. They last all day. I never have any creasing when I use Bella Beauty Bar eyeshadows. They stay all day. They're vibrant. They don't fall out. I do highly recommend going in with a glitter primer because the shades that are chunkier, like this one and probably this one and this one, look a little bit on the chunkier side. You will get fallout if you don't have that sticky base, even if you spray your brush, because when I went in with this one on my inner corner, I did have just a tiny bit right here, but it just kind of flicked away. No big deal. But I love it. I'm excited to keep playing with it. This may be my absolute favorite palette from the brand, next to Ultraviolet. I still love that palette. It's all purples and it's gorgeous, but this one I get more variety and I can't deny that, but it's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I think if you love the brand, you love the color story, you like bigger palettes, and you've been eyeballing it and it fits into your budget, I highly recommend it. Pick it up. I think it's beautiful. You won't be disappointed, but I want to hear from y'all. I want to know what y'all think. Which look was your favorite of the two? Did you pick up this palette? What's your favorite Bella Beauty Bar palette? And if you haven't tried the brand, which palette do you have your eye on? But that's going to be it for this video. Let's have that conversation down below in that comment section. Light it up. And as usual, I want to thank you all so much for watching my video and spending your time with me. It truly does mean so much to me. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that notification bell so that you can be notified of all my future posts here on my channel. I do post quite a few videos every single week, most days if not every day, and I wouldn't want you to miss one. But until my next video, have a good one. Bye.